I think we're live. I'll know in a second. So I got an ad. A Donald Trump ad. Donald Trump ad. So if you're out there, what's up? You out there, Fred? You were there. Today's Saturday, right? I got the day right. So there's a lot going on in the world today that looks like our summer is going to be a washout. Kevin Craig, how you doing? You're talking about, we might not get out of this thing until August. So who knows, I know everybody's getting a little crazy hanging around at home. I just thought I'd come on here and nothing else to do. Getting tired of TV. Played guitar all afternoon. Already bored, I know. Dude, I'm going to start going to bed early. That's how bad it's getting. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Facebook Live thing. And I'm in a group on Facebook called Cover Band Central. And it's just kind of a general group of people that are in cover bands. But the last week has been a constant rash of people going live on Facebook from, their home studio, their living room, their couch, their basement, whatever. And the thing that I find most hilarious is none of them seem to figure out how to flip their camera so that they don't look backwards. And that to me is just somewhat hilarious. And I didn't put it on YouTube, but I put a little Facebook video up of me with the camera flipping upside down and all over, like a Facebook, somebody coming onto Facebook and going, is it live? Is it live? And I just find it kind of hilarious. And I'm as guilty as anybody, really. But in the last 3 days, I have heard more Facebook covers of Folsom Prison than I ever want to hear again. Squire, how you doing, man? I loved your video today. You guys absolutely killed it. You guys are great. I loved her horns and the crystal ball. I loved it. That was great. Production at its finest. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Old man Dan. Nope, it's Memorex. That's a nice Telecaster, too. I don't know what kind of natural wood that is, if that's walnut or mahogany or whatever that is, but that's a nice looking telly. She wears those all the time. Yeah, that wouldn't bother me one bit. But we've had a rash of local folk going live. And I get it, I get it. They just want to get out there. They miss doing their gigs. Let me post something here. YouTube. It's a Pine Telecaster. You know, that's rare. And I once knew a fellow who had a Pine Stratocaster. And man, that was the lightest Stratocaster that I ever picked up. And it literally had a neck dive issue because the body was so light. And I don't know what kind of pine it was, man, but it was the lightest pine I ever saw. And this was back in the late 70s. This is like 1978, 79. And the guy owned a music store here in town. And that was his pride and joy was that Fender Stratocaster with a pine body. But it had a neck dive issue. It certainly had a neck dive issue. And I spent years playing a Kramer bass with an aluminum neck. And you talk about neck dive. And I learned to deal with that. You know, you never let go of the neck with your left hand. Or you kept your arm against the body if you did to hold the body down so it wouldn't go up and the neck wouldn't dive. You learn to do it, you know? And there's another rash of stuff going on Facebook that people keep sending videos in chat in the messenger, which is apparently a dangerous thing. Yeah, yellow pine's heavier than white pine. And yellow pine usually has more pitch in the wood. It can be stickier if like you're working a sawmill and you're running yellow pine, there's a lot of pitch in the pine and up and stuff. But yeah, and YouTube's the same way. There's a lot of people just going live on YouTube like crazy. People are going crazy on YouTube, going live, and although I'm not feeling all that spiffy today, I don't think it's anything serious. I think this is just kind of it's catching up and kind of just dragging people down, beating us up a little bit, being stuck at home and not being able to get out. And we did go out yesterday. We went to a local grocery store. Hey, I love America. How you doing, man? Dude, I just watched your last video. Is that guy insane or what? And like somebody commented, I thought there was going to be some intelligent conversation, and right away he goes off on flat earth and how this is all this pandemic thing is all, people are blind and blowing it out of proportion. Squire, that we're doing it all. They announced today they started restricting access into stores. 5 people at a time per 1,000 square feet. And Walmart has a sign that they can only let 1,114 people in the store a day. Now, where they get that number is really bizarre. Yeah, the flat Earth guy. I love America. That was, oh my God, from upstate New York, from Westchester. Go to New York City, clown. And I said he'll be the one that gets it and dies. You know, because he's not following any rules. And I'm not going to argue whether it's real or not real, but I don't want it. And they're getting serious out there. In Geneva on the Lake, the resort that we play in, hi, Dwight, they're done for the year, and they pretty much know it. And there was a group of bikers down there, pulled their motorcycles into the parking lot of a bar, which is closed. And there was a big group of people, 7 or 8 bikes. The neighbors called the cops, posted it on Facebook, man. The cops came down and told them, hey, you got to go. You got to get out of here. You can't congregate. You got to leave. So it's getting serious. Squire, same thing. Linda and I yesterday, we wore masks and gloves at the grocery store. And there were lots of people doing it, tons of people doing it. And then there are tons of people not. You know, and people making an effort to stay away from people. And then other people just blindly walking around like, you know, like everything's just normal. The media has to report. They have to report it. If we don't get the information, then we don't know what to do. And I've got to be honest with you. The amount of stupidity I see posted on social media about this, the ignorance about it, and just the ignorance in general, and the fighting back and forth, it's hard to believe people can really be this way. That this is how they want to act. It's truly astounding. It's amazing. And you know, I don't want to I'm not going to promote panic or anything like that, but I'm certainly not going to be a naysayer. I'm no scientist, I'm no doctor. And I want to let you all know, hey, Sylvesterado, how you doing? Bruce, you're right. You know, they will kill us. And of course, I'm not saying I'm educated. I mean, a little bit. I got a little bit of education. I got 4 years of college, but I do know a little bit about diseases. And you know, not to the point I'm any expert or anything, but you know, my mom was a career nurse. My sister's in the medical field. A lot of my friends are nurses, and I've spent a lot of time around doctors. I've been talking to heart doctors. I've been learning about disease. So, you know, I'm not speaking blindly here. I should have, Bruce, you know, I probably should have tried StreamYard and had some people come in, or gave people the opportunity to come in and talk, but that usually gets me in trouble. Yeah, you don't have to be that educated to listen to the educated, and yeah, they can't do math, they can't write in cursive, and they can't drive a standard shift. We could cripple a whole generation just by making all the cars standard shift and writing in cursive, filling out checks, doing all our transactions with a check, you know? I see it all the time in retail stores where younger folk running the register, they can't make change for $1 without the help of the register. They have to look at the register to literally make change for $1. And Tonewood. Well, and to think, this is going to change things for people a lot. A lot of things are going to change because of this. Wow, only a few other people had masks. I'll bet if you went today, a lot more were wearing a mask. Yeah, Common Core. That was a wonderful experiment. Young guys are into whiskey. But I don't know what we're gonna do now. We're not gonna be playing any gigs for a while. First, in February, I got messages. Places closed. We're gonna be closed for March. Nothing in March. Then towards the end of March, I get a message. First couple weeks of April are out. A few days later, I get another message. We're hoping for May 1st. And I haven't got the message yet, but they're already saying that, it could be August. They closed the campgrounds. The governor of Ohio closed all the campgrounds. Well, that's one of the biggest businesses at the resort are the campgrounds. And the bars and the restaurants are all closed. There's nothing left. That's it. And the golf course. All closed. So there's nothing down there even open, and there's nobody even getting their stuff ready like they were intending to open. So I don't know what's going to happen. Can't go get a restaurant job because they're closed. All of a sudden being a Walmart greeter. Hello from Canada, our boiler. All of a sudden being a Walmart greeter, man, that's going to be like everybody wanting that job. Y'all thought it was funny, people at Walmart. Yeah, snafu. Now, I saw a thing where Canada is giving every citizen $2,000 a month for 4 months. So that's what Canada's doing for their people. And the stimulus check here, they're saying if you didn't file electronically, I read it today, it could take up to 20 weeks. And they said that we filed electronically, and we have for years. And they said April 15th, those would start to hit. That money would start to hit. But if you filed by mail, that it could be 20 weeks. It could be 5 months. And we filled out our absentee ballots today because they came in the mail yesterday. So we filled them out today and did our voting and bundled them up, and we'll mail them off Monday morning. Hey, Adam, how's it going? Well, it's going about the same here probably as it is for everybody else in this country. Some states haven't done anything. There's no rules or anything yet, and that'll change, I'm sure. That's got to change, or ought to change. They can get a court order from my bank account. Well, Adam, why? Because you got to work constantly. They're just working you to death. And have they restricted entrance or anything yet, Adam, to how many people can come in? Because they did that here starting Monday, but a lot of places didn't wait. They just went already ahead and did it. Lowe's, Walmart, Home Depot, Aldi, they all went ahead and enacted the restrictions as of today. There wasn't any yesterday that I knew of, but as of today there were. And we did everything we could do yesterday so that we wouldn't have to do it for a while. Yeah, my check's already spent too. Oh God, Dante, come on, man. Buy a Les Paul. All non-essential business closed. Funny thing is, we really don't have a state liquor store. We do, but they closed up voluntarily. They did it of their own volition. They were not told to close because apparently they don't want people freaking out because they can't get alcohol. They don't want that. They don't want, people going to the hospital with delirium tremors and alcohol withdrawal because no, Extinction Level. This is not that kind of. That's not an option for other people to join this. You have to do it through either StreamYard, Streamlab, or some other thing. And I'm just going through YouTube. I'm just using the YouTube live stream. So sorry about that, but can't get in. They put me out of business and committed crimes against my person. We need to expand upon that, Dogpa. I have access to StreamYard and I could do that. I just haven't done it. Absolute con. Do the math for influenza. Nobody cares about 160,000 dead a year. You don't care about 160,000 people dead? Come on now. Come on. I mean, get out of here with that. Really. And they could say this could be 2 million. And nobody has a vaccine or immunity to this virus. Bruce, that, yeah. Somebody else said that today. Somebody else said that today. The 100,000 to 200,000. That's not the point. Most other influenzas, we have vaccines for them. And you have the option to go get a damn flu shot. Okay? More people die from cancer and heart disease than that every year. Okay? And yeah, we do talk about it. We talk about it all the time. It's always talked about unless you ignore it. Okay? So that's on you. That's not on everybody else. Every year when the flu comes around, I worry. And I worry about the numbers. Flu shots don't work. Fact. Okay. Well, I'm not going to argue it. Yeah, not everything is a conspiracy, exactly. Sylvester. Yeah, it's me. I'm the expert. Well, I'm not making any claims. Absolutely not. I'm not going to make any claims. I hope you're right. I hope it's a con. I hope that we find out later that this was all just a Democratic hoax to take down Donald Trump, and it didn't work, and nobody died, and nobody died in Italy, nobody died in China, nobody died in Spain, nobody's dying in the UK. I hope it's all just a big hoax. Japan, everywhere else. Oh, I'm saying, I hope, I hope. Dan, nothing's bigger than Trump. The world elites were losing a grip. Okay, what are we talking about? The Illuminati, or what's that other group? There's another group, the Seven or something. Now, I'll agree with that. The destruction to the economy is going to be devastating. Farmers are dumping milk. There's a 7,000-acre farm in Georgia that supplies most of the fresh produce to the restaurants in the South. Their pickers are locked up in Guatemala because they can't leave the country because the borders are closed and they're not okay in the work visas. Same thing from Mexico. And they can't get any local labor that wants to do that work. None. Zero. They have not had one person come and knock on the door and say, I'll pick cucumbers. Yeah, our Boyle, they're not practicing the social distancing, are they? You look at a press conference from Canada or the UK, man, these people are spread out. It's like spread out. I'm surprised that Dr. Fauci doesn't get off me, man. You know what? I gotta wonder about the preppers now, because he used to laugh at them. He used to laugh at the preppers. They're the guys that have been storing dried beans and rice for years and stockpiling. Ain't nobody laughing at them right now, I bet you. I'll bet you. If I was down there, or say I wasn't in the position that I'm in, I would travel down there for the work and do the work, you know? Yeah, Squire, I am too. I dig the distance thing. It's fine by me. Kraft Dinner stocked up, yeah, boxes of macaroni and cheese. Oh, I hope you got lots of cans of tuna fish. You need soft cheeses and dried meats to survive. But this went south real fast. YouTube, Aiden, how you doing, buddy? YouTube's gonna put the kibosh on this one and tell me it's not suitable. But see how polarizing this is? See how this worked up? Dog, but think of how much fuel has been saved already. I'm getting like 3 weeks to the gallon right now. And it's down to a $1.65 today. It was down to $1.65 a gallon here in Northeast Ohio. And we haven't had any major appointments in the last several weeks, so we haven't been leaving town. Hillary Pelosi there, now they love you. I don't know what that means. Well, old man Dan, it's okay to be skeptical, you know? Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you hear, and only half of what you see, right? Who are you going to believe, your leaders or your lying fucking eyes? No, they won't ban it. They just won't monetize it. They're listening for certain words. They're monitoring the chat, you guys. They won't ban super chats. Strawberry alarm clock. There you go. Only you, Aiden. Only you. Aiden, there's a YouTube channel that you have to subscribe to. It's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame from Nashville. Anyway, yesterday the guy put a video up. He interviewed Robbie Krieger, and Robbie Krieger talked about all the Doors recordings and the guitars that he used and stuff, and he showed his guitars. It was cool. It was cool. You know, he was Robbie Krieger. I never knew this, but he started off playing flamenco guitar. So that's how his style kind of evolved, is through playing flamenco guitar. See, I live in northeastern Ohio. There's nothing in season here right now. The season hasn't even started. We haven't even started planting yet, unless you're planting undercover inside to have it ready to put out. I don't know what state you live in, Dan, but if it's an open carry state, fuck concealed carry. I'd be more inclined that if somebody sees a 1911 hanging on your hip, they're going to leave you alone more than if they don't see it and you've got it hidden. All right, let me. All right, Aiden, I'll get it for you. I'll go look and tell you what it is. Hold on. It's the one in Nashville. And it's not Joe Elliott. It's let me look at my history. Let me look at my history here. I'll get it. I'll get it. I'll get it. Come on, it was after that. How far back can it be? Oh, Lord. Maybe because it wasn't on. Give me a minute. Look, Nashville Musicians Hall of Fame. It's not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's Musicians Hall of Fame. And this thing is stumbling because I got too many tabs open. The Fortunes, Joe Exotic, Guitar of the Day, Norman's Rare Guitars. Maybe it was a few days ago that I watched that. I'll find it. Okay, Robbie Krieger, Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum. You got to type in Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum. Well, I guess it'll let me, since I'm an admin. Copy. Okay. Here it is. You probably found it. Subscribe to that. Yeah, that's the one, Aiden. Go on. Go on. Robbie's old, man. He's almost 80. or darn close. And he's the only one left out of the doors. Dunsmore's gone. Manzarek's gone. Of course, Jim Morris is gone. Spanish Caravan, yeah. I don't know if he never used to pick. Oh, is he still around? Still play together. That's cool. But that is a cool channel because he interviews some cool people and a lot of history there. A ton of history there. Are you playing with anybody, Aiden? You got a band together yet? You got to be 18 by now, aren't you? They buried the hatchet. Yeah. Funny how a lot of bands from back in that day, guys ended up hating each other. Sylvester Rotto, I believe I have. I've watched a lot of ZZ Top stuff. I watched one that went from, I don't know if it was the same one or not. I actually watched that on Amazon. Cool, Aiden. Obscure Identity, really? Spotify and YouTube. All right. Was it like deathcore metal or? I'm just kidding. I know that it's not. Little band from Texas. Okay. No, I knew it wasn't. 60s psychedelic. That's cool. Well, what's everybody else doing to keep themselves occupied during this strange time that we're living in? This sure is some bizarre shit, right? El Bizarro. Fender. Yeah, we played up until February at Aiden, and then everything got drinking. Everything started getting canceled. So YouTube. I'll tell you what. YouTube's getting boring. Yeah, you all wanted that weekend that would last forever. How's that working out for you? NHL clips. I started watching the Three Stooges last night. I was sitting here. I don't know, man, why, but a Three Stooges thing came up in my feed. MMA. I love MMA. I watch MMA all the time, and there were 2 hours of Three Stooges. I got through about half of it. I got through about an hour of it. You laugh for a little while, and then you just start going, "My God, what we thought were funny was funny." Oh, I love Laurel and Hardy. I absolutely love Laurel and Hardy. Oh my God, you've been sick. Did you have the stuff? Did you have the funk? And I'll tell you who I've been watching a lot of Joe Rogan of his podcast thing on YouTube. A lot of Joe Rogan because he has a lot of interesting people, and I was watch. Okay, R. Boyle, thanks for popping in. I watch a lot of Sean Evans at First We Feast, Hot Ones, where hot guests with hot questions with hot wings. Yeah, Buster Keaton's good too. Yeah, Andy Griffith never gets old. Either does Green Acres. About a month ago, I binged on Green Acres and I watched everything they had on Amazon from beginning to end. Then the other night on YouTube, I watched the Return to Green Acres movie from the 90s, and it had all the original cast in it. And it was just an absolute, I'm not going to say it was an absolute insult to Green Acres show, but it didn't have the same appeal. And it didn't have the same type of production. They tried to update the production, and it didn't work. They did it in a 90s style of production as opposed to the way they did things in the 60s. And it just didn't lend well to the thing. I watched Mad Mad World not too long ago too, Aiden. Believe it or not. Twilight Zone. I could binge on that. Yeah, the Twilight Zone. The original Star Trek. And Westerns. Absolutely. I've watched a lot of old Westerns. Recently, I've watched High Noon, half of everything that John Wayne was ever in. High Noon, Liberty Valance, bunch of them. METV, okay. It's funny what the old stuff, sometimes the old stuff is just, it's so great. It's just so great sometimes as opposed to the new stuff. And there are new shows that I watch. I've been watching. I always did like Roseanne. I always thought Roseanne was funny. I know some people can't stand her, but I thought the original Roseanne show was pretty good. Where would we be during this extinction event without the internet, maybe we'd be better off. Yeah, Bob Hope was funny, and even if you find old Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and Dean Martin stuff, I watched a couple old Jerry Lewis movies the other night that weren't too bad. One called The Bellboy. It was either The Bellboy or Bellhop, one of them, but it was pretty funny, and it was stupid. And Jack Lemmon movies, old Jack Lemmon movies, like The Out of Towners, and the one where he goes to Italy to claim his father's body with a oh, I forget that blonde's name, but it's just a hilarious movie. Well, we'd be glued to the TV trying to get the news, you know? A lot of us, be out in the woods and I've never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. I've heard about it. Yeah, I know he's the guy that did the Seinfeld. I'm subscribed on YouTube to all the late night guys: Seth Meyers, Trevor Noah, Jimmy Kimmel, uh, Stephen Colbert, and they all put like their segments and their monologues up. Like Seth Meyers has a closer look, and they all have their little segments that they put up. And I'm subscribed to Saturday Night Live, so I catch all the stuff that Saturday Night Live posts from uh, onto YouTube. I don't watch MSM News either. I get most of my news from CBS. Well, I my whole life I have always enjoyed shopping, whether it be the lumberyard used to be my favorite place was the lumberyard. Uh, and then it became like Home Depot and Lowe's, and I always enjoyed going to the grocery store. But now you got to get in and get what you want and get out. It's not a hang around thing. You get in, get out. You need to have a list. You need to have a list. You need to kind of know where stuff is. You make your way from one end to the other, come back around, do the checkout now. No, they didn't die, Dan. Seth Meyers is good. Trevor Noah is good. Stephen Colbert was writing for a lot of those guys back in the. Stephen Colbert wrote for Letterman, I think, for years. Well, yeah, Carson was king, but I don't know if Carson could keep up today. Boy, there's a lot of opines out there, aren't there? But, my whole thing is don't get too worked up till they're knocking at your door. When they're beating at your door, that might be the time to start to worry. I think the next time I try to do this, uh, yeah, do we cheat him and how? And I fleece him. Hey Tim, yeah, we're doing okay. I hope you are too. Uh, I think the next time I try to do this, I'll go with StreamYard and put a link out so other people. I haven't used StreamYard. Like for my own personal broadcast, but I've been in StreamYard Hangout several times, and I don't think that'd be that much of a problem. Bombastic Bushkin. Well, I'll give you Carlin and Pryor, Red Fox, Kennison, Lenny Bruce. Neither one of them ever did anything for me. Kennison was just a loudmouth. He had one or two funny bits. I think Ron White is funny. You know, part of the Blue Collar Tour, and he's kind of the raunchiest one. That Iglesias guy is funny too. He's hilarious. Iglesias or whatever. No, I don't know that you're a Lenny Bruce fan, but if you say you are, then you are. Hey, Eddie Murphy was good. You know, I mean, I even miss uh, Chevy Chase and Norm Macdonald and Bill Murray and, you know, Steve Martin. What happened to those guys? They're not dead. But, well, you guys, thanks all for popping in here. Tribute to Jimmy of GMS. Oh, that was a Lenny Bruce thing? Okay. Yeah, Chris Rock was good too. One of my favorites was always Rodney Dangerfield. I thought Rodney was just hilarious. His jokes were just, you know, so simple and clever that Banjo killed Steve Martin. He's a good banjo player, really. When he gets right down to it, he's not that bad. Yeah, who would ever thought that a bandana, gloves, goggles, and like would be acceptable to be carrying in your car? But that's where we're at. But here we are. All right, guys. Well, hey, it's been an hour. I think I'm going to go back to my room back there and maybe pick up my guitar for a little while. I was teaching Linda some stuff on the bass, helping her out a little bit. Since we got all this time, can't sleep at night. I'm sleeping like 2 or 3 hours a night, and then I'm up, and then I take a nap, and then I'm up, and then I take a nap, and it's just like, we're so screwed up. We hey, Maurice Casey. Well, thank you from the UK. But our times are so screwed up that we don't even know what we're doing. We really don't half the time, but just trying to keep on keeping on. So, all right, you guys, look out for one another. Give people latitude. Give people a little room. Give them a break. You know, everybody's got a different take on this. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. We all have to ease up on our stuff a bit, you know. Squire, thanks for stopping by. Sylvester, Dog Putt, everybody, Dan. All right, you guys. I'll catch you all later.